So I know this video is a long time coming. I've been saying I wanted to do it for a while. Obviously, I've been shifting a lot before I started talking. That was just to give you a little bit of an idea of what the shifting is like now in Corsa mode, which is how I normally drive pretty much exclusively, 99.999% of the time. What I recently did is I got the RSC LiveTune, not the ECU and TCU tune, but just the TCU tune. So this video, to be clear, is solely talking about the TCU tune. I have no idea what the RSC ECU tune is. The RSC TCU tune, which is for the transmission and the E-gear and whatnot, is, for lack of a better term, fucking phenomenal. I'm not sure if you guys could tell when I was shifting. It was in Corsa, but it was super, super fast, super, super quick. And above all, what makes it really, really cool is it's smooth. It's fast and it's sharp and it's smooth. I think the best way to explain it is it's almost like an LP gearbox, which is already pretty damn good. If the LP gearbox met up with a McLaren 650S and they had a great time, at a bar or a dinner or at a club or something, and they ended up having unsafe sex and they had a child. And that's sort of what this transmission's like. Give me a second. So I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but the road was a bit bumpy back there. However, when I'm shifting, it's super fast, it's super smooth. And what I like the most about it, like I told you guys already, I always drive in Corsa. That's the way I do it. And before I did the RSC LiveTune, essentially the way it was is 70% of the time, Corsa smooths would be pretty damn good. They'd be not this smooth, but they'd be pretty smooth. They'd be pretty quick. But like 30% of the time when you would, especially driving like that, when you're pedal to the floor essentially, or a good amount of throttle, and you're giving it gas and you shift, it would feel like Juggernaut over in X-Men just had a sledgehammer and was smashing the back of the car. And I'm sure y'all have dealt with that too, especially if you have an LP in Corsa mode. It feels like stuff's breaking. It feels like things are, flying off the back of your car. You almost want to look in your rearview mirror and see if your bumper fell off. But with the LiveTune, it's amazing. Like you guys saw, it's super smooth. It feels almost like a sort of slow dual clutch gearbox, if that makes sense. It's still crazy fast, not dual clutch fast, because obviously the tune doesn't change the actual transmission's mechanics. But in terms of how it actually drives, it's amazing. Two other things that make it great, personally, the way I think about it. Number one is the fact that the way I park my car, I park into my garage, and then every day I need to reverse out. And normally you get a lot of clutch slippage when you do that. It feels almost like you just sort of want to, firm up and feel the 1% clutch wear, 1% clutch wear, 1% clutch wear every time you give it gas. With the LiveTune, when you do it, obviously it still slips a little bit just because you don't want to get 550, 560 horsepower in reverse through a garage. But the way that it actually slips it doesn't feel like it's slipping. You get this solid amount of thrust backwards, you move back, and then it ends, and it's very, very clean, very, very solid. The second thing I really like about it that hopefully you guys can see, there are some cars in front of me, is off the line. It takes maybe about a second and a half max for the clutch to fully engage, whereas even in Corsa mode, normally, I'll show you, engaged. But whereas even in Corsa mode normally, when you're just driving it normally, you do feel that while the clutch sort of engages. So that's really, really cool about it too. But more than anything, clutch wear, everything aside, more than anything aside, clutch wear and whatnot, the car is just fun as hell to drive right now. It feels great. It shifts super, super smooth. And it's just, I don't know, it feels like how the Gallardo would feel before it put on its little suit and became the Huracan. It's this perfect middle ground between the Huracan and the Gallardo in terms of how the transmission feels, how it is off the line, how those downshifts feel and sound when you're doing it. I think that for the price it is, I don't remember what I paid for. Like I said, it's been like 2 months since I've done this. I really should have made this video sooner. I don't know, for the price that I paid, I think it's one, aside from an exhaust, which I think every car, especially if you're a convertible, should have, this is like one of the best modifications that you can probably do to this car. I don't know much about the e-gear on the pre-LPs. I know they were sort of shitty from what I've heard. The LP was a phenomenal e-gear, or is a phenomenal e-gear, but this just really moves it up to the top. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys want me to clarify something, let me know. But otherwise, 2 thumbs up, I guess, for the most goobery thing I can do. 2 thumbs up, amazing, amazing modification of the car. And it saves you clutch wear. It makes the car faster to drive, more fun to drive. It's definitely faster off the line. It definitely shifts faster. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Talk to y'all soon.